Hey guys, thanks for joining us. We have tonight a special guest, our Diamond Gold Ambassador, Andrea Mitchell, and she is, where are you? There you are. It's like you went away. That was weird. Everybody went away and turned to Angela's face. That was super weird. But anyways, she's going to go over her story for us, and we're going to do some Q&As at the end. So, Andrea?
Thank you all so much for having me. I love this group and this team. And a little bit about my story is the fact that West Texas, which isn't all of y'all, but a good portion, is pretty much what blew my team up to start with. But I'll start at the beginning. A little over 3 years ago, I was playing on Facebook, which was not abnormal for me. And I saw someone posting about the pink drink. And that's all she posted about was just weight loss, energy, and the pink drink, nothing else. Or at least I didn't see anything else. Nothing else caught my attention. And I wasn't interested. I wasn't interested because I wasn't interested in an energy drink, and I wasn't interested in an MLM, which is multi-level marketing, network marketing, direct sales, what we do. And so I kind of just kept scrolling. She thought I'd be interested. I wasn't. And a couple of months later, Rosalind, who's my direct upline, the person I signed up with, was posting about Plexus. And Roz was my former boss 15 years ago, and she's a very dear friend, a mentor, someone I still kept in contact with, and we still did lunches probably 2 to 3 times a year for the last 15 years, even without working together. And I just trusted her. But I also knew, because I was her assistant all those years ago, that she had a heart condition. And so when I saw her posting about Plexus, that kind of like light bulb for me. I thought, well, it's not really an energy drink then. So of course I messaged her immediately and said, okay, if you're a part of Plexus, I believe more in it. Tell me more. And so she really knew very little. And so she told me about the pink drink and about Accelerator Plus. She really didn't even know that much to tell me, but she could tell me it was plant-based. It was all natural. You know, things that we all know, like there's no artificial dyes in there. There's no artificial sweeteners. What the point of the pink drink is. So I bought it from her. I was interested in natural, sustained energy. I was interested in feeling better and just being a better mom and having more pep in my step. And so I bought it from her. And I was a really good customer. I just signed up as a preferred customer. And a couple of months later, I got some routine blood work back, and my blood numbers were better. I actually have a thyroid condition, and those numbers had gotten better. And so I called her, and she said, well, when you get your blood sugar stabilized, it stabilizes your hormones, which can stabilize things like your thyroid numbers. I thought, well, that makes sense. What else do you got? Mm-hmm. So I was loving the pink drink. I was loving Accelerator Plus. I wasn't, expecting a whole lot. I was just expecting to kind of have this like sustained energy day after day. So my expectations were low and were exceeded. And so she told me about our ProBio 5, Bio Cleanse and X Factor. And I am a mom. I've been married for almost 12 years now. We have a 10-year-old girl, an 8-year-old boy, and a 5-year-old boy. Well, at the time, our 10-year-old was 7, and she has cerebral palsy, which is just brain damage that affects your motor functions. But a lot of her life has been antibiotics, medicines, a lot of just body problems because her body doesn't function correctly muscularly. And so we knew a probiotic was important. We've known that since she was born. And we knew that BioCleanse was going to be a product we'd be interested in trying, because we tried OTC. Anything that would help with constipation, we had tried. And really learned some awful things about a lot of the OTC products. And then X Factor was kind of a no-brainer. It's a multivitamin. And so from Flintstones to gummies to everyone kind of takes a multivitamin until you're like on Centrum Silver. Like everyone takes a multivitamin. It's not weird. And so I was like, well, might as well buy a multivitamin and the probiotic and BioCleanse from a friend, help her out. I knew Roz well enough to know her financial situation and to know I'd rather hear from her and talk to her and do this with her than to go to Whole Foods where I wasn't getting any real help or support. So again, I'm still a preferred customer. We're buying just about everything. I think the only product I didn't buy for a long time was 96. That might have been the one that I held off on the longest. And so I'm still a preferred customer for 5 months. And one day my husband came to me and said, can we get these cheaper? And I said, only if I'm an ambassador. And he said, please, no, you stink at that. And he was right. So my first MLM was, golly, now about 13 years ago. Right before I met my husband, I was involved in an MLM that wasn't really a product. It was a legal insurance service. And met some people. Anyways, it's a long story on how I got into it. I'll explain it to anybody that wants to know. But I got into it, met some great, great friends, loved the business model, but it was not for me. The product wasn't for me, and it just was the wrong time in my life to even consider something like this. Second time I did it was right after we got married. I got involved in a skincare and makeup company, and neither one of which are my kind of my niche. A, I don't wash my face every night, and B, I very rarely put makeup on. Right now I have on lip gloss. Congratulations. This is what's good. So that's my entire skincare line, is maybe rubbing something across my face and chapstick. So I was really bad at that. It's really hard to sell skincare when you don't use it. It's really hard to sell an anti-aging line when you're 27. And so it just wasn't for me. I didn't feel like selling things to my friends. I didn't feel like doing flip charts of explaining why products worked well and what the ingredients were. And I hated begging people to come to parties, or begging my friends to host a party, or begging my friends of friends to host a party. And I just stunk at it so bad that we went thousands of dollars in debt, because I kept thinking, if I just buy more, somebody somewhere at one of these parties will want to buy stuff too. That doesn't work. So all that to say, when my husband said, no, you can't do another marketing company, I said, yeah, I can kind of see why you'd say that. Here's the difference with ours. And this is what I told him standing in our kitchen on the other side of this wall. I said, it's $34.95 plus the products we're already buying and love, which is the whole reason I would even sign up to be an ambassador. I don't have to do parties. Rosalind's never invited me to one. I don't have to carry any inventory, because I know for a fact Rosalind can't afford it, and she doesn't have anything in her house that's not hers. And I have 5 friends. Becky Page was one, Kim Pollock was one, on this 5-person list that I gave my husband standing in the kitchen, and said, I think they might like at least 1 or 2 of the products. And you know what he said? He said, yeah, you're probably right. They might buy like 1 or 2 products. And I thought I would maybe have $500 a month in PV. 500, maybe 1,000 if this thing really took off. I'd have $1,000 a month in PV, which I didn't really understand the comp plan, but would have garnered me about $250 a month, or no. Yeah, $250 a month if I hit $1,000 in PV. And so I was like, oh, well, that'll cover our products and maybe give me, a couple extra bucks to spend at Nordstrom, or, doing something that I want that my husband thinks is ridiculous, like curtains. So, so I thought, I might as well go for it. He said, fine, whatever. What's the worst that could happen? We're out $35, and I think we might save that just in the wholesale cost alone. So November 30th of 2013, I became an ambassador. It was during one of the corporate deals where, I don't even remember what the deal was. Maybe they paid $34.95. Maybe it was free shipping. I don't remember. I should probably go back and look. But I just did it because Rosalind, was posting about it. And so I thought, you know what the heck, I'll just sign up. And I posted that night. I posted how excited I was. I didn't post a before and after picture. I didn't post any of my results. All I said was, I'm really excited to get started doing this with my friend Rosalind. I believe in the products. I believe they do what they say they're going to do. And I believe in my friend enough to go on this journey with her. Anybody interested, just let me know. And I never stopped posting. I can't think of very many days that I haven't posted either specifically about Plexus or to garner more Plexus business. So like today, I posted about picking a bathtub. We really are trying to pick a bathtub. These are the 4 options I actually have. But I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a Facebook poll and see if maybe one stands out to everybody else. It doesn't. By the way, I don't know how I'm going to pick a bathtub still. But I have over 200 comments. I'm engaging my Plexus and non-Plexus audience into my post. So although it's not a Plexus post per se, it's specifically geared towards my business in a lot of ways. Also trying to help me pick out a bathtub. So it's real. It's really me. It's something I would naturally do anyways. So November 30th, I got started. 12 days later, I went silver. And my sister, a girl from high school I barely knew, and a mom from my boys' school all that were just like, hey, tell me more about this. And I told them the 3 ways to buy. Wasn't pressuring anybody, didn't want to grow a team, just wanted a few customers. Happened to have a few ambassadors, thought, oh, that'd be fun on Friday, I'll get a check. And so I went silver in 12 days. I went gold in a little less than 6 weeks. So in December, I went silver. January, I went gold. February, I went senior gold. And March, I went ruby and senior ruby. April, I went emerald. July, I went sapphire. And the following January, I went diamond. 14 months from beginning to end. Or beginning to, I don't know why I keep saying diamond's the end, because it really is harder work than it was at any other level. But it's been so much fun. So one of the reasons I signed up, and every single person on this call is a totally different reason. Even if it's not the reason you say you signed up for, there's kind of something in the back of your mind that you're like, but what if this really works? What if it really happens? So for me, the what if was my sponsor, Rosalind, had a best friend named Celeste. And I had friended Celeste because I'd met her at a state fair. Rosalind had kind of been trying to, inch me towards the ambassadorship during the 5 months. And she introduced me to Celeste. I friended her just to kind of watch her journey. I watched her go to Hawaii. I watched her go to New York for the Bloomingdale's trip and spend $5,000 at Bloomingdale's. And it's the one thing that her incentive, out of all of her incentives that I knew would probably never happen. We were about to go to New York. We were going to do plays and Super Bowl. We'd already been to Hawaii as a family. And I really kind of felt like we'd done most of what the incentives were. So there wasn't a big draw for me to do it. I knew my husband was never, no matter how much money we had or ever have, going to give me a $5,000 shopping spree. I kind of thought that sounded like fun. I'm a shopper. I majored in fashion merchandising. It's truly my calling in life is to just shop. So I kind of always had that in the back of my mind, like that would be fun. I mean, I just want like 5 customers and I don't want to grow a team or anything. But when it started kind of happening and I saw the potential, I thought someday I'm going to go for that Bloomingdale's trip. Well, I've won it twice now. I won it my first year, and I won it again last year. And my goal is to win it again this year. And it's not so much the $5,000 because at Diamond, you make really good money. You can go on a $5,000 shopping spree if your husband will let you. But it's more the fact the company loves to dangle carrots in front of us. And I am someone that is incentivized by that. Not everybody is. Not everybody on this team is like, I don't really care if I ever have a $5,000 shopping spree or a trip to Hawaii or Alexis. Those do nothing for me. So you kind of have to decide what is your thing. Some people, it's just recognition. Some people just want to be recognized. They just want to be told they're doing a good job. They just want to be on the leaderboard that we just got a few minutes ago. They just want to be, on stage at convention and their name be called out. They want to stand up there with a big check and take pictures next to other successful ambassadors. Some people just want to help. They just want to help other people get to their goals. They really aren't incentivized by trips and flashy things and money and anything. They just want to help other people. Some people just want the cold hard cash. They don't want any recognition. They don't care if anybody talks to them. They just want the cash every day for their hard work and walk away. So you kind of have to decide, what am I in this for? Do I really want to help people? Because I really like helping people. I actually love my friends that do this with me. And Becky, who is y'all's upline somewhere, is one of my best friends. We've been friends longer than I've known my husband. She's actually known my husband longer than I have. And she was there through all of our, does he like me, does he not like me dating stuff. She stood by me in my wedding. I stood by her and hers. We've laughed and cried with babies and whatnot. She's a heart friend. I get to do this with her. And if you know anything about Becky's story, Plexus has done incredible, immeasurable, unexpected things for their family. And so getting to do stuff like that, getting to be a part of that I pretty much like strong-armed her into being my ambassador. Rachel helped with that. Was really just such a gift. And so you can kind of pick, what do you feel like inspires you to do this business? But I promise you, whatever your kind of love language is, Plexus can fill it. Not completely, but in a business kind of way, and in a really neat way. It fills a lot of buckets that a lot of us feel like we lack in life. And so y'all ask me questions, and nothing's off the table. I'm kind of an open book. If you've ever followed me on Facebook, you know I don't hold much back. I just kind of talk about my life. You're welcome to ask me anything.
Well, you started your team off right off the bat, pretty much. And so how were you able to sustain training with your teammates when you were still pretty new yourself?
We've talked about this a little bit lately with the people that did it. So when I was around Senior Gold, and remember that was really early in my business. So Senior Gold, I was still only 2 months in, 3 months in. So whether Senior Gold is your rank or not, if you've been in the business for 2 or 3 months, if you have 5 to 10 ambassadors, I encourage you to write your own training. And here's what that looks like. What were your questions? What were the questions that you wanted someone to answer for you? What were the questions you went out and researched? What are the things that you think would help somebody else do their business? And that's really how I trained. We did a training at Amber Volbita's house. Amber's an Emerald on our team. And she was maybe silver. Lindsay Carricker was silver. She helped with the training. Becky was there. She was silver, maybe gold. Kim Pollock helped with products. I had way too many people on the training. It went way too long. It was about 3 hours long. It was awful. It was such a train wreck. But y'all, I did it. I wrote my own training. It wasn't anything Roz gave me. It wasn't anything I, found from somebody else. I literally sat down and said, what are the questions I'm being asked? What are the questions I asked that I had to go find the answer to? I'm going to gift that to people. I'm going to tell them what to say when someone asks, what is Plexus? I'm going to tell them what to do when someone asks, how do you buy it? I'm going to tell them how to make a graphic to put on Facebook. I'm going to tell them what to post on Facebook. All of those things that you do every day, remember what it was like when you first started, or if you were new, remember all the things you're like, how do I don't know what to post. Am I allowed to share a post? What if Angela posts something? Can I steal it? Well, I hate the word stealing posts. I consider it the fact that you're using someone else's wisdom. So if Angela posts something that even if she used it from somebody else, it doesn't matter. You're using the wisdom of somebody else. You're not reinventing the wheel. I love inventing my own posts, but it's because I just like to talk. And so reiterating somebody else's words isn't really my thing. That doesn't mean I don't do it. I do it all the time. I have one saved on my phone I can't wait to use. But most of the time words come to my head and I post a picture and there you go. But that isn't natural for everybody. And so if you train somebody on how to do that, they feel so equipped. It's equipping people. It's giving them the tools and letting them figure out how to use them best for themselves. If you can see right behind me, we have our success kit. I love that kit. I love the quick start guide. If you don't have one, have your upline send you just a copy of the quick start guide. They can just take a picture on their phone and send it to you. It's so ingenious now that we actually have somebody that did all of the things that we wrote out in trainings 2 years ago of, write out your why, figure out what your list looks like. Here's how to develop your list of people that you're going to contact. Here's how to use social media correctly with Plexus. There's a whole book in there that tells you pretty much everything. And I helped write the social media part with Celeste, so I'm fairly certain it's not all inclusive, but pretty good. So I would say that training is equipping people with what you wished you had been equipped with. It's not relying on the person who may or may not have equipped you. Rosalind wasn't around for me. It wasn't that she wasn't available to me. She worked full time. She couldn't sit down and write a training with me. Now, since she's quit her job, her trainings are phenomenal. In fact, corporate uses her as a corporate trainer. She actually trains the jewels in Plexus. But at the time, she didn't have the resources, the time to pour into me on that. So I did it myself. And y'all, I succeeded. I didn't need anybody else to give me that information. I literally write all of my own trainings. I've never used anybody else's because it doesn't feel authentic. It feels like somebody else's words on a slideshow. So I've created probably at this point 5 to 10 trainings. They change all the time because my personality, is kind of all over the place. And so one month I want to do this kind of training, and then I switch it all up and I do a totally different one. But it doesn't have to be elaborate. It literally can be a PowerPoint with just, graphics or words sliding that you can just talk through. I'm not big on a lot of words typed out because I like to just talk. And graphics remind me of what I'm talking about. So train your team the way that you wished you had been trained.
Cool. As a real life person, you are a real person who happened to hit the top of the company and then re-enroll and is making your way to the top again. What did it mean for you and your family, not only financially, but all the perks that came with Plexus? What did it mean for you guys to get a Lexus and, your bonuses and stuff like that?
And so I was a stay-at-home mom before. So our life was actually pretty on track. We lived in this house. We had pretty much everything. I mean, our life didn't change much until the day my husband came to me and said, you're making real money. I was already diamond at this point, so I was really aware that I was making real money. But he said, I think we can change the trajectory of our family. And as I told y'all, my oldest has cerebral palsy. She's in a wheelchair, and that is her life. And our house right now is fairly conducive to that because when we moved into it, we knew she was going to be handicapped. But going forward, we have 2 boys that are growing, and we need a house that's truly handicap accessible for Ella from one door to the other, front to back. And Joe came to me one day and said, your income's allowing us to move the date up by 10 years to be able to build a house that's accessible for her. So for us, that's where the monetary money has probably been the most used. Obviously, we can give to any ministry that we feel led to, which is great. Our church is extremely important to us. And in the last 10 years, our church has gone through a lot of building and fundraising. And we've been able to give above and beyond what we ever thought was imaginable on that. Most of the money just goes in an account, and we use it as God sees fit. We're not frivolous at all. My husband isn't very frivolous at all. The Lexus changed our family only in the fact that we went from a big giant van that had a wheelchair lift on it and everything. And we were able to sell that very inexpensively to a family with a handicapped daughter. And then I could have the Lexus, which I drive around all day long and take the boys to school. And then we also have a Suburban and that's Ella and all 5 of us. And that's really what we drive around on the weekends because for Ella and her wheelchair and everything, we fit best in the Suburban. But the Lexus gives us the option to have a third car. It's really my car. It's what I take everywhere, unless I have Ella. So the Hawaii trip is phenomenal. It's really nice to have a company that not only pays for a trip, but it is 5-star the whole time. Like the suites are incredible, the balcony, the food, the luau, every event that our company does is just gets better and better every time we do it. And it's fun. It's fun to do that stuff with your spouse. It's fun to feel like I can take my husband on a trip this year. And my husband's birthday is the day that we're supposed to return from Kona. And instead, we're going to fly over to Honolulu. And for 24 hours, he's going to do Pearl Harbor and all the historical parts of the war parts of Honolulu. But he gets to do that for his birthday. I get to gift it to him. And it's fun. We get to stay in whatever hotel we want. We don't have to think about it. And I probably should make sure I booked a hotel in Honolulu. I just write that down. So it just allows us freedoms that we didn't have before. It didn't, totally flip our lives upside down. My husband will probably never quit his job. He loves working. He loves what he does. He has no desire to retire. I really want him to. I like what he does. I like our healthcare through them, and I like he has a huge sense of purpose in what he does. But it just gives our family, an added security of, if anything was to happen to us, Ella and the boys would be fully taken care of, and we just don't have to worry about it. It's residual income. I could stop working today. I could get off this call with y'all and never touch Plexus ever again, and I would still get a check every month because it's residual income on work that I've already done, continues to grow month after month. It's insane.
I like that.
I have a question, Andrea.
Sure.
You have a lot of diamonds on your team who have also come to that position very quickly. If there was a common denominator in their effort or in the way that they approach things, what would you say that that is? How do you see that that's happened so quickly for your team?
I would say common denominators between my specific diamonds would be circle of influence. They know a lot of people and people trust them, and people want to do whatever it is that they're doing and involved in. And people, they just have a lot of different circles. I would say that for most of my jewels, that they have a lot of different circles of people, and they're not just trying to focus on one specific network. And those networks all really love them. I would also say that they have insane work ethic. It is all about them and their team. And very few of my diamonds have ever reached out to me and asked me to do an event for them, have ever asked me to really do much. They're all self-starters. If y'all know, my diamonds are Ellen Ford, and Becky Page, Rachel Neagle, Julia Carty, Lindsay Russell. Am I missing anybody? I don't think I'm missing anybody. But if I am, don't tell them. But I think they're all self-starters. They're all go-getters. When I first started, my sister was my strongest leg, and she was my first ambassador. She came out the gate running very quickly. Rachel blew up West Texas. And that was because the people that she signed up trusted her fully. They knew that what she was talking about, she knew. She had already developed all those years of just integrity and trust in the medical kind of community and in advocacy of health and hormones. Becky is someone that has lifelong friends. She's friends with every single one of the people that were in her wedding, all of her bridesmaids. She's just someone that you don't want to let go of. But she has so many different circles that are like that for her. Ellen Ford's husband worked for a bunch of different churches, 2 different churches really, but 2 different mega churches with a lot of different people that come in and out. Plus she was just that person. She's that person in her hometown in Mejia, which is a tiny little town in Texas. And she was that person when she went to college. She was on the tennis team at Baylor. She was a go-getter. If you ever get the chance to be on her flag football team, I would encourage you to be on her team and not the opponent's team. She's terrifying. I've seen her. And she literally is like eye black, like mean face, like she terrifies people. And she's just competitive. She doesn't let anyone, get ahead of her, and she loves people fully. Julia Carty needed it. She wanted it. And she had the circle of influence, and she has huge influence. But she also was willing to call up every single person she knew in her phone and say, do this with me for 6 months. Let's do this together for 6 months and don't leave. And she said, if this sucks in 6 months, we'll all step out. We'll all drop it. But we're going to give it 6 months. And she still does that. She still calls people and says, give me 6 months. Give me 6 solid months of hard work, and let's see if it works. They all are hard work. Lindsay, the exact same way. They're all hard workers. They all write their own trainings. They all do their own OP meetings. I travel. I have done, come out to Amarillo. I have done a few meetings with Ellen. I've done a couple with Becky, not many. A couple of bigger ones, I guess. And then I've done Alabama twice with Julia and with Lindsay this last time. And I do them because they're fun with my friends. I don't do them because they need me to come do them. I just think it's fun to grow teams. I did not travel until I was a Sapphire. I was about 2 months from going Diamond when I first started traveling. I'd never traveled before that. So don't think you have to travel. These Zoom meetings, I wish I had these 2 years ago. It would have changed so much. So, but I think those are some common denominators. Self-starter, I mean, go-getter, not taking no for an answer, or taking a no and, I mean, literally taking the hit and like coming right back. Like not even taking a breath in between. Like, okay, fine, no, moving on to the next person. Like, you just didn't let the drama get them down. None of those people are actually dramatic. So if you have anybody on your team that just likes to kind of stir up stuff, I would be cautious, because none of my diamonds and actually none of my leaders that I can think of are feed drama. They don't. There's no even on our Jules threads and stuff. There's absolutely no drama on actually any of Roz's jewels. We have 29, I think, jewels under Roz, and there's no animosity among any of them. So it's not so-and-so got it first. Why did that person always get it? Why is that, Roz trained them more than me or whatever? It's never been like that. It's just real encouragement. And I mean, I've done probably 5 calls for Scott Pankey, whose Roz is like level 7 or 6. So it's just not me, they're just workers. They're hard workers. All of my jewels are hard workers. Does that help?
Mm-hmm. Okay, my next question. We talked a lot about the power of 3 in our team call last week. But I tried to explain to my team that doesn't mean you just find 3. Would you talk about personally recruiting, maybe how many you've personally recruited?
Yes. So I actually had this subject at Super Saturday in Denver this year, and I actually had 3 people stand up. So I would pretty much say like Brittany, Michelle, Angela, like, y'all are my first 3. Okay, I'm going to tell y'all 3 what to do. You go find 3 people the exact same, way that I found you. You go find them and you talk, you give them a little more detail than that. And then all of a sudden I go out and I find Brittany and Lauren and Ashley. And I go, okay, now y'all 3 go find 3. Okay, now I'm still training over here with my original 3. I've got my new 3. I've got to give them that, first information. And then once I've got everybody on the same page, then I go out and I find 3 more. And I find Kara and I find Stephanie and I find Seth. And you go out and you keep finding your 3 people. So I have 70 maybe level 1s, not active, but total that I've recruited, maybe more than that, maybe 80. But some of them fall off after 2.5 years. They white lined in the first year. They're no longer on my pay or my system, back office. But not a ton. I have a lot. I'm almost 5 jewels wide. I would say quality over quantity. Don't recruit somebody just for 5 points, but also don't discount someone and say, well, I'm not going to have them be an ambassador because they're never going to sell. So use really good judgment with that. But I think power of 3 is so powerful. If you can get everybody on all of your level 1s that want to work it, if you can get them to silver, then their goal becomes getting their people to silver. Like that's really, to me, what it's about is and going silver every month. If you are, I'm currently in a hold pattern because Blue starts June 1st, but I have my box of all of my names of all the people that are about to get phone called or messaged or whatever. I've been working on that. So I've got about 203, 205 names in there, and I'm hitting it hard. I'm already, working on those relationships, commenting on their photos, making sure that as soon as I start hitting the ground running and June 1st, that is my thing. I'm already working on them. If they sign up this month, great. If they sign up tomorrow, I will be happy little clam. But it's like heavy hitting, and I think it's good to have a plan, to have an agenda. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you have an agenda with people, but you know what you're going after. You know what you want. I just think that's really important. But power of 3, huge. Go silver every month and get everybody on your team that wants to make $100 to $500 a month. Get them all to silver. It's huge for their business.
I like how you said phone calls. It's not all about Facebook, that you legit pick up the phone and talk to these people.
And I hate it. It is not my comfort zone. But Julia has convinced me that if you have their phone number in your phone, you need to pick the phone and let them hear your voice. I probably hide a little bit more behind voice messaging than I do phone calls, but I do both. I've gotten a little more comfortable with phone calls. It's not my comfort zone, but I'm working on it. But people need to hear your voice. They don't need to just read your words, because I'll be honest, words fall flat a lot of times. Words have no emotion or the wrong emotion. So I would really, because sometimes if we're angry or if we're already defensive about something, then we read something totally wrong. And so someone's already like, I don't know about this plexus stuff. And then you write something that you'd be like, yeah, see, she wrote that word and really you meant it totally differently. So when people hear your voice, it changes things. I love videos. I love these. I think voice and face is huge. I like human contact. I love Facebook. Don't get me wrong. It's how I've grown my entire business. I would say 90 to 95% of why I'm successful is Facebook, but I cultivated that from pretty much the day that Facebook went, off the, school campuses and went live. I was pretty much on it. I think I started July of 2007. And I don't think I've stopped posting since. My time hop would agree. So, I think it's, that's how I have cultivated relationships. If other people have cultivated them in person or over the phone or over email, that's how you need to reach out to them, is how you've cultivated that. I cultivated on Facebook, so it was easy for me to go there when I was reaching out to people.
So if I was in your box and you called me, what would you say?
Okay, let's find someone.
And I'm assuming that all these people are already picked out specifically and not just random names jotted down.
Oh yeah. So this girl's Kelly. Kelly's husband and Joe did Kanakuk camps together. We've run into them at a couple of different events. We have kids the same age. And so if I called her, I'd say, hey, I love seeing y'all. Haven't seen y'all at the Easter thing this year. How have you been doing? How's Tim? How are the kids? What are y'all doing for school this year? Really talk to them. Really want to know a little bit about what's going on. Because even if she says no, I still want to have her as a friend. I still want to have her as a playdate partner. I still want to have her as just someone that I love and I pour into and loves Jesus too. So I would say all that, and I'd say, girl, I've been doing this plexus stuff for about 2.5 years. I haven't reached out to you yet. You've been on my dream team list. Every time I think, who do I want to join my team? Your name pops up. I just have to tell you a little bit more. Would you be interested in me just talking to you? Do you want to go to coffee? Would you rather me send you a little file of information? You let me know whatever is easiest, but I will sit here and talk on the phone with you and tell you all about it. Or I can just as easily send you something or meet you for coffee, which I would love. And if you want to get the boys together, we can do that. And we can just talk at a park. Something totally easy. And very few of these people this one's my cousin. But all of these people I have a connection to. I can call them and say, hey, I didn't see you in Sunday school last week. How's it going? How are the boys? I can say, hey, girl, I love watching your swim school that you're running out in San Diego. Just take off. You are such an entrepreneur. You know a good thing when you see it. I would love to share something with you that you can share with your moms and you could blow up in Southern California. Small town Texas. Girl, do you know what has been, I love seeing, your engagement pictures and tell me more about the wedding, whatever it is. That's my personality. That's what I do. I talk to people. Julia likes to tell me that I interview people. I don't think it's quite an interview, but I love people. And so pouring into people and asking them about their lives and then saying, hey, can I just tell you about Plexus? This is the thing I've been doing. This is why I think you'd be good at it. This is why I would even talk to you about it. No? Okay, cool. If you're ever interested or if I ever post something that you want to know more about, will you just contact me and let me know? Because I would love to be the person that tells you more about it if you're ever interested. That's it. There's so much.
I noticed that you didn't say, but if you say no, that's okay, we'll still be friends, because then that plants the seed in their mind, right? That they have that out. Because I've heard that a lot. I've heard people say that a lot.
Apologetics don't work very well on this. And so apologizing before you presented them with the opportunity makes it look like it's a bad opportunity. If someone came up to you and goes, I'm so sorry, but would you please try this piece of cake? And if you don't want to try it, I totally get it. I'm not sure I would try it either. It would totally scare me to try it. But if you would you, I'd love for you to try if you want to, but I don't want to pressure you. You'd be like, I'm not touching that cake. I don't want you. And so I think it's the same way with this. Like, you're offering them a gift. If you don't believe enough in the product or in the business, you need to ask your upline, please pour belief into me, because I don't have enough to make a phone call. And that's not a bad thing. Belief takes time and cultivation. Belief is not something you get at $34.95. Belief takes hearing testimonials of life-changing stories. Belief hears your friend calling you and saying, thank you so much, I can pay my student loan this month, I couldn't last month. Belief is hearing Alec and Tarl talk from the heart about how they feel about this company, what the real story behind the company is, and just knowing that they're putting their heart and soul and themselves on the line for this company every day. 2 guys sit in an office in Arizona, and they make our decisions, and they are phenomenal. My belief doesn't waver. My belief didn't waver from the time the product started working for Ella. My belief doesn't waver now because I have full, ownership in what I do. That doesn't come at $34.95. That comes at 2.5 years of hearing stories, of having your friends call you, of getting those text messages. So if you need belief, ask your upline for it. They probably have more than you do, and they will pour it into you. They will find things that will help you believe as much in this company as they do. Promise.
Lauren, did you have a question?
Anyone can ask a
I
question.
hear you.
She's muted. Or, no, she unmuted herself.
Can you hear me now?
Barely.
You're barely. Can you talk louder or get closer to your speaker maybe?
What I was going to say was that whenever you reach out by voice messaging, do you do it the same way as you do a phone call? Like back.
Not so much back and forth. So I don't know why I have to do this. Like, it's like I have to do it here on now, but like, I just hold the button and I just say, hey girl, love seeing your pictures the other day. Can't believe, Carter's already graduating from kindergarten. It seems like the boys were just born. It's so crazy. Hey, I know you're going to have a crazy summer with him being home, but I also know you probably would love to be able to afford to put him in camps this summer. So if you're interested at all in all this Plexus stuff I've been talking about, send me a message. I'll tell you how to earn checks each Friday. And you can go ahead and get them cash, so you can go ahead and pay for camps this summer if you want to. 1 minute. So it's not a back and forth. It's more just throwing the information out there. But it's real. It's me really saying, I love you. I love your kid. I know that you're going to be going crazy, especially come July, August. June will be fine because you'll be so happy to have him home. But come July and August, you're going to wish you put him in camp. And I can tell you how to make money next Friday. May sound too good to be true, kind of is, but I can tell you all about it. Just let me know. I have belief that I can literally show her how to make money next Friday. It's Tuesday. She can make $100 next Friday. More than that. But if she gets 4 ambassadors this week, which if she's new, if she's an influencer, if she's a go-getter, if she really wants that $100 before school's out, I promise you she'll get it done. So it's a matter of believing that what you say is true, believing that the company really pays us well, which is true, and believing that the products work. So it's not just that the business is great. Our products actually change people's lives. So you can just talk. I mean, if it's not, it's not easy, but it's simple. So our words are just simple words, but I can't say it's easy to pick up the phone and call someone or to send that voice message. I will say the more you send, the easier it gets. If you send 20 voice messages a day, which voice messages on Facebook are a minute long, you can't make them longer than that. If you try, it'll cut you off. iMessage on your text, if you're going iPhone to iPhone, will let you go as long as you want. but you have 1 minute. You can send 20 voice messages a day. That's 20 people you're contacting if you send 1 minute voice messages. Here's the thing. Don't send 3 voice messages to them. Don't send them 3 minutes worth of voice messages. That's a long message. Imagine if you got a voicemail that was 3 minutes long. Okay, get to the point. Let me know what's going on. 1 minute. And you might want to record yourself. Like you can videotape yourself or voice message or voice record yourself and listen to yourself back and go, oh, I don't want to say it like that. Oh, if I'll cut this part out or add this part in, I can get it under a minute. Practice. If it makes you nervous at all, I would say practice. But I promise you, if you do 20 of them tonight or tomorrow, you will feel confident enough to continue to do them every day.
Do those people not get frustrated or annoyed that you're just reaching out to talk about Plexus versus having like a real friendship, I guess, in their eyes? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I kind of lost you there, but what I think you was like authenticity.
Yes.
Like, do people just say, oh, you just want my money kind of thing? I guess that comes across in the way that I talk about it. If someone called me and said, hey, Andrea, how's Ella doing? I saw her walking the other day. Oh, she's doing good. Okay, you know what? I'm working for this new company, Beauty Counter, and I'd love for you to try our products. You know what? I would love to. I already have a rep, but if I didn't, girl, I would totally come to you. Okay. I mean, that doesn't bother me because tomorrow when I see her at a field trip, we're still going to talk. I could totally say, so how's your Beauty Counter business going? Is it going well? Granted, I'm in an MLM, but before that, I bought from Premier Jewelry and 31 and Pampered Chef, and I never felt bothered because I kind of needed some of that stuff. So as long as you make it a non-pressure, it's not a hard sell, you're literally just offering them a gift, just someone that you love. I like all of these people in this box. I would sit down and have coffee with all of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't add them to my team. I don't want to add anybody I don't want to have coffee with. I can guarantee you that. Or that I don't want to hang out with in Vegas. Or that I don't want to go to Hawaii with eventually. So I think it's important to, add people or, recruit people that you love sincerely and that you really see that what you can offer them would be a gift to them. I wouldn't make it sound like that you like. I kind of all of a sudden had this thought of some guy that thinks he's like God's gift to women, and so I wouldn't have that attitude. But I would definitely think that what you have is a gift, and you've seen it work as a gift in other people's lives, and you would just love to be able to share that opportunity with somebody else. And you kind of feel like a jerk if they came back in 6 months and said, "How did you have this and you didn't tell me?" Or I went and signed up under somebody else because you weren't, brave enough to at least offer me the option to sign up under you.
So in my team lately, there's been a lot of debate about, and not just in my team, but kind of in a greater team sense, qualifying whether someone should sign up wholesale or whether they should sign up as a preferred customer and that kind of thing. And it goes back and forth, and it seems like nobody has a straight answer. What do you say to that? What do you do?
I give everybody all 3 options. So this is what I would say. If Angela, you were like, okay, well, I want to buy products. What do I need to do? Okay, what do you say exactly that you want? I want the triplex. I just want to start there. I don't know if I'm going to like it, but I want to start there. Okay, here's your options. You can sign up as a retail customer. You would pay full price. It would be a one-time purchase, and you would have the option of the 60-day money-back guarantee. You can sign up as a preferred customer, just kind of like auto ship. So you get it every month, and you can cancel it anytime. You still get the 60-day money-back guarantee on each order, and it's a little bit cheaper than retail. Okay. You also have the option of ambassador, which is kind of like a Costco membership. So you get wholesale pricing. You don't get a 60-day money-back guarantee because it's cheaper products. But if you share it with anybody, then you have the option to make money. Whether it's your mom or your sister or even your own products, if you're buying over $100 every month, then you get commissions on that. So that's really up to you. How do you want to do that? Do you want to make any money if anybody asks you about this? Well, I don't know. I don't really know if I even like the products. Okay, you have the option to sign up as a preferred customer and get a 60-day money-back guarantee. Like those are really your two options. Like retail is great. And if you want to do retail, that's perfectly fine. And I don't encourage it only because it seems kind of silly to me. But if that makes you more comfortable, I would love to have you as a retail customer. But it makes more sense to either be a preferred customer or an ambassador. So let's kind of figure out, do you want to make money? No, I will never share this with anyone. Okay, even if you never share it with anyone, would you want to at least cover, your own products by just telling your mom and your sister about it? Yeah, I mean, those two I'd probably, sell it to. Okay, you might want to be an ambassador if you think you're going to share it with anybody else, or if you just want wholesale pricing. It is the cheapest price, but it's $34.95 to start that. You also, when you do your $34.95, you always tell them about the welcome pack. You never, ever, 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 ever sign them up for $34.95 without at least giving them the full option of a welcome pack. The welcome pack is the cheapest way they can buy products. If you buy a double triplex welcome pack, I promise it is cheaper than buying 2 triplexes as a preferred customer. So you give them pricing options. And if you want to, based on what they want to buy, you send them a spreadsheet and you break it down for them. If you buy all of this as a wholesale customer, then this is how much not only will it cost you, but that you could possibly make in a paycheck next week. If you buy this as a preferred customer, here's how much it'll cost you month after month. And so you get to kind of make that decision, easy for them by just handing them the answers and letting them pick. And you know what? They might pick preferred customer 50% of the time because the option, the 60-day money-back guarantee is such a relief for them. They might pick ambassador because you're going to say it's the cheapest way to buy product, and it is. Wholesale is cheaper than preferred, and in that way, you get that option. But I would never qualify them the first month unless it's above their welcome pack. Very rarely have I ever signed somebody up with an auto welcome pack, and every single time, I think it's been 3. I have called Rosalind and Celeste and told them why they're not getting their building bonus. Because they're going to look and say, hey, Andrea added a new ambassador, but I didn't get an email for them. Why is that? Okay, I want to tell you, they signed up, and all they wanted was 4 bottles of Probio 5. They didn't want anything else. I couldn't convince them to buy a welcome pack, but they wanted to buy it the cheapest way possible. So that's kind of where I was stuck. And I go, okay, it helps if your upline knows why someone's not buying a welcome pack, because you've told them, that you've had that conversation with the new ambassador, and so there's no shame in that because people are allowed to do whatever they want to do, but always offer them all of the options. Does that answer your question, Angela?
Yeah, it does. I remember sitting through, I can't remember if it was Leaders Retreat or Super Saturday or something, where one of the upper level ambassadors was like, well, you should, if they don't want to sell this and that. And it just didn't come across the same way you said it. So that it became this big, like, confuddled, confused thing in my team. And so I think that'll really clarify things, like let people choose for themselves.
Here's a good question. Out of the people that I can see on here, the 6 of us, how many of you thought you were going to grow a business with this when you signed up and paid your $34.95?
That you were?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
1 out of 6. So if you only sign up people that want to do the business, you're missing out on a lot of people. But how many of y'all signed up for the cheapest way to buy products? Okay. So if you tell them it's the cheapest way to buy products and you lay it out for them on a spreadsheet so they can see how much they would spend as a preferred customer and how much they would spend as a wholesale customer, and even breaking out the welcome pack and showing them the pricing difference, you can do that. And you know what? If for any reason the ambassadorship looks more expensive than the preferred customer, send them the preferred customer price. I mean, it's not a hard and fast rule. What's a hard and fast rule is giving them all of their options. You never want someone to come back, and we've heard this a lot recently, and come back and go, oh, well, I found out, a few months in that I signed up without a welcome pack, and the only reason that I signed up that way is to get my upline points. Okay, they feel used. They feel like you only signed them up and didn't offer them a welcome pack for points, and they feel used. And so I would always encourage you to be honest and open with people and to never be self-focused. It is hard to go gold. It is the hardest step in the company. I really, truly believe at silver, you can pretty much get your mom, your sister, and maybe your best friend. Maybe, if you have those 3. I told you that I had my sister, a high school friend, who was more of an acquaintance, and a mom from my boys' school, who was also an acquaintance. But silver wasn't impossible for me. Gold, my second time around, felt impossible. Y'all, I had 42 ambassadors before I could get 20 qualified. It's not easy. And I won't say it's easy. But I never, on my new leg, signed up one person without a welcome pack just so that they would auto-qualify me and help me hit gold, because that is so selfish. So if that's what she was talking about, Angela, I would definitely steer away from that mentality. But if it's just how to qualify people to decide for them whether they should be ambassadors or not, you really can't do that. Y'all, I have somebody on my team whose husband is a CEO of a major hospital here in Dallas. They live in an over $1 million house. All 4 of their kids go to private school. They have a house on the East Coast, and she's our senior Ruby ambassador. Because they saw value in what we do. And so I would not ever qualify someone and say, Ellen will never do this. She has a great job at Goldman Sachs. She's a paralegal. Her husband's a pastor. She'd never do this, because she told me she would never do this. Becky Page said she would never sell the products. Who else? Julia Carty told me for 8 months she wanted nothing to do with this until she decided to sign up. So don't qualify people for them. Give them options. Tell them what's out there, and then let them pick what's best for them. Then at the end of the day, they can come back to you and say, oh, you totally told me the ambassador is the cheapest way, and I didn't listen, and I love the products. Now I want to sign up as an ambassador. And you can have a clear conscience and go to bed and sleep at night knowing that.
Yeah, that makes total sense. It wasn't about not selling welcome packs. It was more like, well, if they're going to just sign up for wholesale and only buy $60 a month, then they're not worth having. And
they're
that was
allowed to be wholesale customers. They're allowed to buy less than $100. It stinks at the end of the month and you want those points, but they're allowed to do that. That is their, position. They're a wholesale customer. And you do need to differentiate in your mind a difference between your wholesale customers and your ambassadors. You also need to add all of your wholesale customers to your team page, because they need to be seeing behind the scenes product information. They need to be seeing what's available in the business. They need to be seeing kind of the good stuff we don't put on Facebook. They need to see that on your team page. I would say we've had a lot of wholesale customers that have started working the business because they've seen stuff on team pages that has really incentivized them or really motivated them to pour a little bit more into this.
Anybody else?
I'd like to ask a question. This is Kara. There's a big glare on my glasses. Actually, kind of 2 questions. One, what is it now, or was it in the past, like you would not go to bed until you did such and such in your business? Like you set for yourself those goals or whatever and would not let yourself budge. And 2, how do you best take care of your customers? They're not ambassadors. You have like a page just for your customers to help or like, how do you help them along in the products and encourage them to keep going and not stop? And is that just one-on-one, or do you have more of a group way to do that?
And so before I go to bed at night, I just try to make sure all my messages are answered. That I've at least touched base with people and said, hey, I'm going to get back with you tomorrow. If I don't get back to you, will you remind me? I have to say that because I forget. I probably am one of the most forgetful people out there. It's not because I don't love people. It's because I have way too much going on in my brain. So I usually will try to get all of my messages answered before the end of the night. It's really important to me to just be caught up on stuff. So that's probably my one thing. My other thing is where y'all are right now was probably follow up, checking in on people and following back up. As opposed to reaching out to new people, I probably would not go to bed until I had followed up on all the people I knew I needed to follow up on. Customers are hard. I've tried having a customer page and I stunk at it. I really think as I see customers order, I just check in with them then if it's a repeat order. If it's a first time order, obviously I kind of follow up with them. Your phone calendar can be your best friend. you can plug people in. As soon as you see Allison order, you can put a reminder on your phone 3 days from now. Hey, check on Allison and see if her order came in. 3 days from now, 5 days from now, 7 days from now, ask her if she started. 10 days from now, ask her how she feels. And you can kind of set that up on your phone and let your phone kind of bother you until you remember to call Allison and find out how it's going. But I mean, most of my customers now I know. So Stacy ordered today. I'll see her this week at all the end of school stuff. And I'll just check her and say, hey, how's it going? I saw that you got your order again. Is it all still going well? I'm a pretty hands-on person. So it's really easy for me to just contact my customers individually and say, hey, how's it going? That's it. You don't have to ask them, are they feeling detox symptoms? Are they sleeping better at night? I mean, unless you know what their reasons were, like, hey, you said you wanted to get on this to sleep better. You've been on it for 2 months now. Do you feel like you're sleeping better? Do you feel like you're getting more restful sleep? So you can definitely do that kind of stuff. But I just think bulk customer stuff, here's one thing. Some customers don't want people to know they're taking Plexus. So I've had people that I put on my customer page originally, and they're like, can you please take me off? I don't really want to talk to all those other people on there about my stuff. I just want to talk to you. So customer pages can be kind of tricky. And it's just one more page to manage, honestly. It's just, I kind of had to drop it because there was just no way I could manage one more thing. And I just knew my customers at that point. Even if I get a new customer now, it's just one new customer at a time. But kind of where you are, I remember towards the beginning, I had like $4,000 in PV a month. So it was pretty high. And I had a lot of customers. And I would just go through my list once a week and message all of them and just do, hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Hey, how's it going? Hey, just checking in. Want to touch base. Wanted to make sure you didn't need anything from me. Wanted to make sure you didn't have any questions. I could go research and try to answer for you. I just think that kind of touching, just letting them know you're available. But I guess because I never needed Roz and I would call her if I had any questions, I just don't think customers need to be like checked in with once a week the whole, 2 months that they're starting. They just kind of need to know you're available if they have any questions or anything, or if anything's not going right.
Did you have more customers in the beginning than you do now that are just regular customers? Really?
Yes. I wish I had my customers from the beginning back. I mean, my top months at probably my first 3 to 4 months were $4,000 in PV. I'm loving life if I get $1,500 in PV right now between my two positions. So, and I have a really high order in our house alone. So I probably have 10 customers now, 10 to 15 customers.
Wow.
And one buys 2 bottles of probiotic from me every month. So, she has no desire to do anything else. So,
but so most of those customers in at the beginning became ambassadors.
A lot of them I was actually really bad at following up with or knowing any of the answers to any of the questions, and they'll probably never use the products again. I mean, the thing is, if you're new, you have no idea what you're doing. I kind of was winging it, and I lost a lot of people that I'll probably never try our products again because I stunk at explaining things or had no idea what I was saying or doing. But it didn't ruin my business. I lost a few people. But yeah, a good portion of them are, a lot of people in the beginning wanted to try it out for 30 to 60 days before they jumped in as ambassadors. I have that less and less now. Over the last 2 years, I've probably had very few people sign up as customers first and then flip. But it's probably just because I understand what I'm doing better. I understand what I'm saying. I can explain it better to them. In the beginning, it was easier to have customers. And I'll be honest, most people, senior gold and, ambassador, silver, gold, senior gold would prefer to have high PV. 90% of my check does not come from my PV. My PV, if it's $1,500, is, $300 a month. That is like not even the taxes on my check. So it isn't a big player for me, although it's extremely important to our company. So I love having customers. I'll probably try to grow more customers through this, going through my box of 203 people. I'd be really happy if 20 of them became customers. That would thrill me, because, it's still fun to have customers and pour into people. But if 20 became ambassadors, I would not mind either. So I, get bulk of my check from points. So each ambassador, in fact, I don't even know what all levels everybody on here is, so it'd be impossible for me to say, but there's a good chance. Angela, what are you? My level?
So let's see, 4.
4 is what I was going to say.
You,
Four.
Becky, Rachel, Leslie, me.
Yeah. Y'all are both the exact same
Yes.
position. So they're my 4. So I get 4 points for each of them. Anybody that's direct to them, I get 3 points. Anybody that's direct to that person, I get 2. There's a good chance I have a level 7 or lower on here, so 1 to 0 points. And that's fine. I love pouring into my team. It doesn't even faze me at all. But that's where I get a majority of my points, or my majority of my check. My points last month were 16,000 something. Just those are my points, not how much my point total was. Then you multiply that by our pay point value. That's just for one way that we get paid out of the 11. So when you grow a team and you have people underneath you commission qualifying every month, that's where you get your points, and that's where you really see residual income, because that's where I can walk away and not get any more customers and just order my own product every month. And as teams just grow and grow and grow, my check just grows without any effort. I love pouring into my team. I love my friends. I will not be walking away from anybody. But you can, because it is residual income. It's efforts that I've put in for the last 2.5 years continue to pay out now. But customers are important. They're extremely important to our company. Our company is about 40% of what we sell every month is to customers alone, not to active ambassadors. So that's a really high percentage in what we do. Most companies, the distributors are the people that buy all the products. And that's not the case. 60% of the distributors in our company buy the product. So it's a pretty good percentage, I think.
Can you share what, if you've just met someone in the grocery store, or, somebody's doing your nails or something, I don't know, how do you bring it up with it kind of just being, natural and oh, they didn't just talk to me because they want to, sell me a plexus, and because I've been really trying to step out of my comfort zone in that, because I ordered brochures and I'm not going to let these sit in my purse, but I just walk away feeling so awkward every time.
And it can feel really awkward. It actually probably feels awkward more times than it doesn't. And that goes along with the same, the more you do it, the easier it will get, the more you'll kind of figure out what your kind of shtick is. But if someone's doing my hair or my nails, and they usually ask me what I do, or the nails people usually ask me if I'm on my lunch break, or, oh, what you doing today, or whatever the conversation goes. My hair girl that blew out my hair in Richmond, Virginia was like, what are you getting your hair done for? So I got to tell her what I was doing my hair for. And I get to stay at home. And I have a home-based business. It's a health and wellness company. If you have a full-time job, say, well, I am on my lunch break for my full-time job, but I'm working hard to get to, be a stay-at-home mom or wife, or get to work from a home-based business. Oh, what's your home-based business? They're so good at asking questions. That's part of what they do. So for anyone that does hair, nails as a service tech of any kind, they are usually really good at asking questions because they're good at engaging people. Now, if it's someone that is just sitting next to you on a lawn chair at the water park this summer, drinking your pink drink is a really good conversation starter. But it is kind of hard to just reach over and be like, so how's your blood sugar? How's your got health problems? Usually it gets really awkward. So usually it's just striking up a conversation with people. Really, sometimes you may talk to someone and plexus never comes up, and that's really good practice the times that it does. So just be willing to have a conversation with someone and walk away and either go, oh, I should have given them my business card. There was a window and I didn't take it, and learn from that mistake. Or go, you know what? There was never a window to say it, and I'm really glad I kept my mouth shut and didn't just do a sales pitch just to do it. I really just kind of gained a friend, and maybe somebody I'll never talk to again, but I'm okay with that. There have been plenty of people that I've watched and been like, oh, if I just had my business cards, I would have handed them one, but it's kind of awkward to do without it. But there's also people that I've walked away and been like, I would have loved to give them a business card, but there was no window of opportunity to even talk about Plexus. It just never came up, and forcing it to come up looks really strange. So I would encourage you to just start random conversations with people and go out of your way every day to just say hi or engage in conversation. And I, again, am an interviewer by nature. So if I'm standing in the grocery store and all of our stuff is on the conveyor belt, I might be like, oh my gosh, where did you find those? I looked everywhere for the cutie oranges and couldn't find them. Oh, they're the produce section. Tell my kid, go find the cuties. She says they're over there. We love those. We're trying so hard to get our kids to eat healthier. So I'm so glad you have that. Oh yeah, we're trying to get our kids to eat healthier too. Yeah, we finally got them on a multivitamin. That's awesome. Now I need them to, actually eat the nutritional absorption that the aloe helps with. Oh, your multivitamin has aloe? Tell me more. Which doesn't really always happen that way. But if you learn to strike up conversations with people, even if it never comes up, you'll get more comfortable so that when it does, it doesn't feel quite so awkward when Plexus comes up. You just get to talk about it.
Hey, that's good. Good point.
Does that help?
I think that was good about if it doesn't come up, don't stress it and don't force it.
Yeah, love people. So there's my big mind-blowing thing. Just love all people. Don't worry about how everybody affects your business or doesn't affect your business. Just love people. And I promise what will happen is, you'll be talking to someone and it'll be okay that it doesn't come up. And you'll just kind of be okay that you kind of met this person. They were fun and, they had something interesting to say. And then the next person, it's that much easier to talk to them. And then all of a sudden they're interested in what you're talking about with Plexus. And you've already kind of gotten that rapport talking to people. And so it doesn't feel quite so strange for you. And I would just challenge you almost next week to talk to people and not worry about whether Plexus comes up at all. In fact, don't make that a focus. Make your focus just getting comfortable engaging with people. Make your focus just asking someone a question. Like, challenge yourself every day. Some of us challenge 531. Some of us challenge, contact 20 people and do 21-minute voice messages. Some of us, whatever it is. Was it you that asked me, what can you not do, or what is the one thing you have to do before you go to bed at night? Make your thing every day. I'm going to engage in a conversation with someone I've never talked to before. I'm going to figure out how to start this conversation. You can figure out how to start conversations and how to carry the conversation. Eventually, it will lead to rolling Plexus in, but give it a week of just every day starting a conversation with someone in the bank, at the grocery store, getting your nails done, your hair done, the billion places that we go all the time. Y'all, even today, I have not gotten out of this outfit since I woke up this morning. I have thrown on this gray sweatshirt, and that is it. And I love these pajama pants from Target, and I may have lived in them over the last week. They have been washed. And I still had to go to Jimmy John's today to get my kid a sandwich. There are people at Jimmy John's to engage if I wanted to, but I didn't because I hadn't brushed my teeth. And but you can engage with somebody everywhere. And if you feel like, oh, today I'm just not getting out of the house or I'm not getting out of the office, make yourself go somewhere that you have to engage with one person, even if it's just, striking up a conversation with the girl at the, whatever it is, figure out a way to engage, strike up a conversation with someone every day. It'll just make it easier for you.
Can I chime in on that? So, I was with my mom getting a pedicure the other day, and you were talking.
It is not hard for you to strike up a conversation with somebody. What are you talking about?
No, I didn't say that.
Oh.
I said I was with my mom getting pedicures the other day, and the lady beside me was talking about how her nails don't grow. And so I was like, bam, I got into it and started talking about her X Factor. And then she started talking about how tired she is and how she doesn't think she can retire. I was like, am I being set up? Like, back to back of all these things. And so she wants information to become an ambassador. So I think if you listen to cues and clues like that, it would make it a whole lot easier.
Yeah, and here's what's interesting too. One time I was at a park and I saw two ladies and they were both drinking Red Bulls, and I was like, oh, I should drink those. I'm so glad I don't drink those anymore. Like, those are really hard on your body. They're like, well, what do you do for energy? And we all had kids running on this playground. And I, they lobbed softball at me. And so I told them about Plexus. They're like, oh yeah, we have a girl in our neighborhood that sells that. And because I knew they already knew someone that sold it, I said, go back to her. Here are some questions to ask her. Here are some things you want to know. If she doesn't want to answer your questions, here's my business card. But I have a feeling she's going to want to answer your questions. So here's some really good questions to kind of throw out at her. And so, yes, I gave people back to someone, but she had reached out to them. They already knew what she was doing. They just didn't really understand it. But sometimes you will be helping somebody else out that has already shared Plexus. So you will say, oh, I work for a company called Plexus. And they'll go, oh, yeah, I've heard about that. Oh,